Welcome to the Menopausal Women Show for Nutrition, Health and Wellness. I am Michelle, and as a menopause coach, I work with women to transform their hormone health and well-being to achieve the life they want to achieve. On this podcast, I share research findings on hot topics, talk with other holistic healers, and share my own experience to empower women to take steps to a better lifestyle. Now, welcome to today's episode where I'll be diving into learning how to work during the menopause, which is crucial because this transitional phase part of life can significantly impact your career. And in fact, almost half the women that their careers negatively impacted by the menopause, and is often made worse by social stigma and taboos. So ultimately, I think it's really down to my passion and my heart that the menopause does not have to result in us women suffering in silence, and especially suffering in silence in the workplace. It does require some women to cut their careers short, which is really saddening. And it does not need to be surrounded by the stigma, secrecy, or the misinformation that some of us still feel that's in place. And so, with the right tool sets and mindset, it is possible to thrive in your career whilst going through the menopause. So, grab yourself a cup of tea, grab yourself a bit of pen and paper, just take some time out, whether or not you listen to this in the car or watching it on YouTube. Just listen out and hear me, and hopefully, we can find some solutions for the challenges that you are embracing whilst balancing your work, your career, and the menopause symptoms. Now, let's first have a look at understanding the impact of menopause on your career. And let's just remind ourselves, we shouldn't need reminding, but if you're a first time and you're experiencing menopause for the first time, let's just take a moment to say that menopause is essentially describing a time when a woman's estrogen levels decline and she stops having periods. Now, it usually occurs between 45 and 55, with the average age of being 51 in the UK. However, it can vary woman to woman, and it depends a lot on your genetics and your lifestyle. Now, symptoms of the menopause usually start a few years before a woman's period actually stops, and this is known as the perimenopausal, and can continue to some time after, and it can vary. Now, I know for myself, I completely and utterly ignored the perimenopausal symptoms for years, didn't even recognize it. Now, on average, the menopause lasts around 4 years for people, but there is 1 in 10 women experience symptoms for up to 12 years. So, and everyone, and I've said this a number of times, everyone experiences the menopause differently. Symptoms can fluctuate and be felt with varying degrees for all of us women, okay, that are different. So we have to bear in mind that the experience that you will be going through, whether or not it's perimenopause or menopausal, is unique to you and fundamentally unique to you. But what I'm trying to do is just help give you some guidance with tools and advice that may help you support yourself within that journey. Now, when we talk about careers, many of us women are in their prime careers, in their 40s and 50s. I know that certainly a lot of us in our 20s, we're starting out in our career, 30s and 40s, we're having families, so we might have had to take a step back. But between 40s and 50s, we're really into the prime. And with that comes the increasing responsibility at work. I know that my corporate role is very stressful. Leadership opportunities come up because as you gain more experience within your career, you can go into leadership roles, and even opportunities to do complete different career changes can come up for us. So what is the impact of those new opportunities or those new responsibilities? And it's the physical, emotional, and the cognitive symptoms of menopause. So when we talk about some symptoms like hot flashes, fatigue, brain fog, anxiety that can make it difficult for us to focus, meet deadlines, and maintain professional performance. And therefore, we're in our prime, but it really can impact us. And the main thing that I've found, and some of the listeners have shared with me, is that it can also really predominantly impact your confidence. And many women feel very self conscious when dealing with the symptoms at work, which can lead to stress. And that stress can be exacerbated, the symptoms even further. And it's a vicious cycle. We're working and we become very stressed. That then exacerbates the symptoms. And it's a shock to learn that a lot of women feel isolated, stressed, and burnt out. And it's an alarming statistic that I came across to say that 9 out of 10 women say they feel unable to talk to managers at work. But does it have to be that way? Really? Does it have to be that way? So for us, and as I said, my role and my purpose is to give you some strategies that you may wish to apply that can help you and support you in your journey. So now that we know what some of the challenges that you may be facing at work, which is the symptoms, the stress, the anxiety, that you're feeling more pressurized because you're in your prime, let's talk about some strategies that can help you manage those symptoms within the workplace. Now, one of the things that I advocate is create a supportive work environment. And I am supporting a menopause group in my role. And that is something that I feel that I can really add value. So, one of the first steps is to create a work environment that supports your health. And this might mean that you have to speak with your line manager or HR department and look at flexible working hours, remote work, or taking regular breaks. It's important to know that you're entitled to ask for a reasonable amount of accommodation to help you manage symptoms. Now, the prospect of doing this can feel quite daunting. So, you may need to find a way to open up the conversation that feels quite comfortable to you. And I just want to give you some pointers that I have found useful. So, first of all, start preparing notes. And just this is not asking for hard adjustments, but it's note down how your symptoms are affecting you day to day. Use this to remind yourself how it's important to get support from your employer, because it can be very easy for us to forget how much struggle some of the days are if we don't note it down. You may want to find that it's going to be easier to book a private one-to-one chat. Just inform the manager you've got something personal that you want to talk to them about. Um, and it just gives you that moment of privacy it deserves. Explain clearly that for many of the managers that we work with, male or female, menopause could be a mystery. So with that in mind, it's important you know your facts and take the time to explain away any myths your manager may have, and get a realistic understanding of what the challenges that you are actually facing and how it really impacts you during your working day. But also go armed with some solutions, okay? Myself being a manager, always just go with some sort of solutions. Um, and then that way you're educating them and finding a way to actually say, but I just need this from you. And it then becomes more of a collaborative approach. Keep the conversation going, okay? Always give updates, because as you know, our body's changing every single day. So we need to kind of think about keeping that, saying what's improved, what's not improved. Keep that communication going. It's really, really important. I think the next thing to do is actually share your experience, and that I have found help. So building a support network around you, reaching out for help, can help ease the feelings of loneliness and cope better with the changes that are happening. I certainly know that opening up to my family and educating them on the menopause has been shown to reduce the feelings of depression and anxiety while strengthening the emotional connection with my relationships. However, equally, I had a gentleman come up to me the other day, congratulations about the ebook that you can obviously subscribe to. And he was saying that he wanted a copy because he knows that it's important to support his wife. So share your experiences. And if you don't feel comfortable doing that, then obviously do go to my website, download the ebook, and it just gives them a bit more menopause awareness. But equally, what I found has been really useful within my corporate role, and bearing in mind my corporate role is something that I do just to support us in the normal financial world. And this is my passion and my purpose, which is to serve and help support many women as possible. But start a support menopause group at work, because I can guarantee you, okay, that what you're experiencing is unique to you, but also somebody else is also maybe experiencing a similar side of thing, and help support strategies. And just knowing that other people are there can help reduce the anxiety. I think the other thing that you need to consider, so let's just recap. First of all, okay, is when we're talking about your career, you've got to try and become aware of what's the symptoms and how it's impacted, and having that conversation with your employer to see what adjustments can be made. Reaching out and creating your own support network with other women within work or at home to help decrease that anxiety and get that understanding. But also, the biggest thing I think is having a look at your lifestyle factors. And there are many, many lifestyle factors that we can help you manage menopause at work. And first and foremost, and this is something that's true to my heart, is eating regular and well balanced meals. So with your decline in estrogen and progesterone, you will find that your blood sugars will fluctuate, and it can make you feel shaky or lightheaded. So don't miss or delay a meal, because it can make that feel worse. Try to maintain your blood sugar levels so that you eat regularly throughout the day, and this will help with your energy and your clarity, your brain clarity. Eat foods that are rich in calcium and vitamin D. So now this is important because with the decline in estrogen, as we all know, can lead to osteoporosis, which is low bone mineral density. So you need to keep your bones strong and healthy, okay, for movement, not just for the workplace. So include foods like green leafy vegetables such as watercress, kale, and broccoli. Also, make sure you're getting your oily fish, your salmon, your sardines, your milk, your yogurt, and cheese in your diet. And that's bearing in mind if your dietary requirements enable you to do so. But if there's not, then please reach out to me and we can look at alternatives. Make sure that you're eating some sort of whole grains, fruits, and vegetables every day. If your research shows that eating a diet high in refined carbohydrates can actually precipitate start menopause early. So we swap out the refined ones, okay, for which are your refined carbohydrates, white bread, the white rice, and the pasta, for whole grain alternatives, which provide you more feelings of fullness, regulate the blood sugar levels. So we're looking at the brown rice, we're looking at the pasta. Even if you do not like sort of like the gluten-free brands, okay, have a look at butternut squash spaghetti. Try to think about, as always, your alcohol consumption. Um, and it could depend on your lifestyle and the type of career that you're having, and look for perhaps alternatives. And when I say the type of career, it could be that you're in a high powered job where you're entertaining clients most evenings. Okay, so try and have a balance between that. Or it could be that actually, like myself, you're quite busy during the week, you're focused, and then you save that alcohol for the weekend. Always keep check your caffeine intake. Okay, and the caffeine comes from your tea, your coffee, and some fizzy drinks, and it can really impact, okay, flushes, the hot flushes, and poor sleep. So trying I say try to limit your caffeine and stop at around midday, between mid and 2 p.m. Look at caffeine-free alternatives. But equally, as the changes in your body temperature, you can lead to increased water loss. So really, really think about keeping hydration throughout the day. Because it removes the toxins, it helps to clear some of the brain fog. So really think about getting either a reuse in a bottle, but aim for 8 glasses of water a day. It's really, really essential. I know people say that actually when they hit menopause, it's the tiredness. The tiredness can really impact. But I do recommend some sort of physical movement. And it is recommended to do at least 150 minutes of moderate physical activities per week. And this could include going for a brisk walk. So, some sort of physical exercise like walking, as I've mentioned, um, light jog, maybe a bike ride, um, or doing your housework with a bit of energy and pizzazz to it, or gardening. Anything to try and get your heart rate moving up, just slightly. Even to some point, yoga. Exercise will not only improve your physical health, but also can increase your mental health and making you feel good about yourself. So, again, it's really what is your goal? What is causing you the most? If it is lack of confidence through your body image, then embrace the body image, but let's incorporate good foods to help with getting the lean muscle mass. Let's talk about strength training. Let's talk about, like, if it is weight management, how we can use that between exercise and nutrition. So really think about what is it that's paining you at work. Okay. But more importantly, just by moving about allows your body to flow. It can reduce some of the joint pain that some of us may increase. It just allows you to have a bit of self-care. And I've just briefly touched on it, but also utilize the strength training exercises. And you don't need to go to the gym, okay, or lift heavy weights to strengthen your muscles. You can simply do a home body weight workout. There's lots of online workouts you can search for. And, strength training has been proven to improve your mind, reduce anxiety, and improve the hot flashes. So, I know that most of us are doing a number of different roles. And this is one thing where I say, let's get an awareness about your day. Okay. What sort of is your energy levels throughout the day? What are you doing? Where can you actually perhaps we tweak your day slightly to allow you to have that time to do some movement, to allow you time to do a bit of self-care? I mean, even simply just by going for a walk at lunchtime, okay, might be able to help you balance some of these symptoms throughout work time. And I suppose that really brings me on to how do you balance your career ambitions and the self care? Um, we live in such a hard, fast paced culture now that I know that I get feelings of overwhelm. And balancing a very demanding career and your well-being during the menopause doesn't mean you have to sacrifice one for another. In fact, I would be totally against that, because the more that you are better and well in yourself and take time out for you, the higher you are going to perform at work. And it's really trying to work out about finding that balance and harmony between work and self-care. Now, whether or not that's scheduling, as I said, time in for exercise, ensuring that you get enough sleep, and we work on looking at your sleep routine, or allowing yourself to take the breaks during a work day, self care, and I'll repeat this, self care is really critical for maintaining your energy and your focus. So let's just consider practicing some stress management techniques. And stress can make the menopause symptoms worse. So, when we talk about self relief techniques, it could be such as deep breathing, short walk, or a mindful practice at your desk can make a really, really big difference, even to the point of taking yourself a cup of coffee, plain bit of paper, and just ranting, okay, just to relieve some of that stress and that anxiety. When we talk about managing, perhaps if you're experiencing hot flashes at work, dress in layers, okay, and if you really are going through sort of like the hot flashes, dress in layers because you can remove a layer if you start to feel too warm. Or you could perhaps get one of the little desk fans or a cooling towel. These small steps can help you make you feel a bit more comfortable at work. But I think the biggest issue that or challenge that people have reported to me is the brain fog, which the brain fog is a really common symptom. And as we've touched on, there is no one fix for brain fog, it's a combination. But at work, just as a little tip to try and help combat that, organize your work into lists, okay? Make planners, get an app that helps you do that, prioritize your tasks, and give yourself time to focus on one task at a time. I know us women are brilliant at multitasking, okay? But actually, research is saying is that we're not as productive. So let's just focus on the one item that we need to do and do it well. And that way, it will decrease some of the anxiety, the overwhelm, and stress. So let's just recap. Between our 40s and 50s, we're reaching our prime, okay, in our careers. But with that, we could be going through the menopause, and menopause symptoms vary from person to person. So, how can we make that a better way of embracing the menopause within the workplace? First of all, be open and honest. Talk about how work could support you. And if that means flexible working hours, then look at flexible working hours. Make sure you're nourishing your body to help combat some of those symptoms. And nutrition is a big, big powerhouse tool that you can use to help with the menopause symptoms. Think about creating a safe environment and sharing that with others. Think about incorporating movement and making some slight lifestyle changes. Make sure that you perhaps taking time out, self-care, walking, journaling. Remember that menopause is just part of an evolutionary journey and one that can actually empower you with insights about yourself. And I know that I'm taking this moment to really reshape how I work and prioritize what matters most to me. And I know and sharing my own experience that when I started out in my career, that was the main be all and end all. And I've worked and I've got there. I've now have my children. And though they're growing up and they're teenagers and eventually they won't want me, I know what my passion is. And my passion is to help and support other women. So I do prioritize my workload. I do make sure that I've got balance for me so I can serve and be there for both my family and for my listeners and for my clients. Um, and it really does take the time that even, yes, the exercise is still important to me, but I've had to adapt it. I have to do more the yoga, the strength training, and not just the hard hitting exercise. So I'm really embracing this time to actually find out about myself and setting some really good boundaries with the people that surround me. So let's not forget that menopause can be a time, like I've just explained, of renewal. And many women find this stage of life to become empowering, to become really in tune with their bodies and their priorities. So you may find that you're reassessing your career goals, okay, or seeking new opportunities that align with who you are today. I can guarantee you that the person you are today is not the person that you were when you were in your 20s. And I can't stress enough, and I found this has really, really helped me to set some boundaries. And that's setting boundaries with my family, setting boundaries with people that perhaps don't raise my vibration or my confidence, And I really am now focusing on my strengths, and I trust that I have the ability to thrive both professionally and personally. And that's my quest for me personally, is that I need to thrive on all levels. And I am doing, with the tools that I'm sharing with you, the same for myself. And I'm finding that I am reaping the benefits on both professionally and personally. So thank you for joining me today on this episode of Menopause and Career Balancing. Remembering balancing work and menopause is very challenging, but you're not alone, okay? And with the right strategies, you can succeed in both areas. Now, I'm not saying that any of what I've shared with you today is going to be that one magic wand. What I am saying to you is just take some time out for yourself, really home in, take notice of yourself, what works, what doesn't work, okay, and perhaps apply some of these strategies to see if it makes it a lot better for you in the workplace. Now, if you found this episode useful, please make sure to subscribe and share it with other women in your network and leave a review. It is really from the bottom of my heart that I'm asking you to subscribe and share and leave a review so that I can increase the presence within other people listening to help and support as many women as possible. Equally, if you'd like to connect with me to discover how my program can support you in your menopause journey, then do hop on over to my website on www.michellewells.co.uk. Okay, book your free discovery call, or even sign up there for that free ebook. Okay, once you subscribe, I'll send you the free ebook, which will just give you some pointers to help you get started. So I hope you have taken some knowledge and some benefit and insight out of today's show, and I am very grateful. So until next time, stay empowered, stay healthy, and stay confident.